Hi, I've got both Alex and Ishan here because we're going to discuss pine nuts and pumpkin. And there's a commonality to these products, which is basically to do with the time of year. We're coming up to the crops being delivered, basically. Stuff will be coming into the bourse for both these items. And we've just, from October the 1st to October the 7th, we've had the sort of national holiday in China, Golden Week. And now on Saturday, Sunday, coming up, day after, tomorrow and day after, the Anuga will kick off. And what's happened with the pricing in pine nuts just now?
Well, it's historically very high at the moment. We're seeing kind of a leveling off where the 750 price is getting closer to the 650 price, which is interesting in itself because a lot of people tend to go for the 750 mainly for price reasons. So once it gets closer to the 650, and the quality difference is quite big, it'll be interesting to see how the demand side reacts to that. But I think even though the pricing is high, from Origin's point of view, it seems that the pricing could continue to be firm right up until May next year. They're confident that the price should be going up because of the crop size, and consumption actually is still pretty good. The demand is maybe a little bit down, but people are calling off their contracts regularly, and the pricing seems to be, even though they're historically high, it seems to be at a reasonable level in terms of what we see going forward. Okay,
so prices are still within the toleration band. You don't think there's going to be any delisting, this kind of stuff?
It's hard to say really. I think if it gets any firmer, then it's unrealistic to expect people to still be eating it. We're actually seeing on the in the supermarkets themselves, prices are going up 20-30% on pine nuts. So this is probably the litmus test of how people react to that. Is how I think we'll see supermarkets react in the next 6 months to 8 months. Yeah.
And what about with pumpkin?
Pumpkin, just before the Chinese national holiday, all 4 of our BRC approved shippers withdrew their offers and said that they would come back to me this week with revised prices, which they have done, and they are nearly about $1,000 more than they were a week ago. And the reason being that a lot of new crop inquiries have been extended to China from Europe, and a lot of domestic demand apparently has kicked in for new crop, for mooncake festivals and possibly preparation for Chinese New Year. And that's just sent the prices
But previous to that, prices had relaxed quite a bit.
The crop is really good.
Right.
There's no carryover, but both the Shineskin and GWS are going to have markedly larger crops this year. And it was only up until Wednesday last week the prices were really very, very keen, and now everybody shuts up for the national holiday and comes back. Prices up by $1,000.
Yeah, so what we have is a situation where there's a concerted effort to raise prices on one hand by speculators in pine nut, and on the other hand maybe with the farmers, but there are some large principals in this who, for instance, sell grown without shell seed and also market the for growing, and also market the final product. So they try and control the market a little bit, and we'll have to wait and see where this market settles down, because now it's got to take traction. A difficult situation for the buyers, I think, because basically right now we have a lot of tenders coming up. We've had a lot of tenders in the last week, which really relate to supermarket purchasing from January the 1st, 2016, right the way up to December. In these circumstances, what I would like to suggest to the buyers, and it's part of the reason of making this thing, is that we do have the capability of offering prices for very volatile items like pine nuts because we have very long, extended relationships with people I would regard as very strong principals who can also hedge against large quantities of stock. And we can offer you certainty on pine nuts. Pumpkin, of course, we do that by managing our stock and hedging against existing physical goods. But with pine nuts, we have some very good contacts which have allowed us to sell right up to December 2016. Of course, we are now at the period of highest uncertainty, and that uncertainty will reflect in terms of the premium of the pricing, because somebody has to be paid for this risk. But the supermarkets, I know that you either make the deal or you don't make the deal right now, and therefore we're here to offer you the certainty in a position where actually we're at the highest level of uncertainty. These crops haven't come in, and it's difficult to say how the market's going to go in the next 12 months. Right. Anything you'd like to add on these two products?
I think pumpkin is over-speculated right now, and I think the prices will come down in February, March time.
Okay.
For pine nuts, I'd say that it's quite a confusing state. The price is very high, and if you can book now at a profit, I'd recommend that you do, because it could go either way.
Yeah, take the uncertainty out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.